Congratulations on the new album. I know you're doing a lot of press for this, so I appreciate your patience and dealing with the same questions we're all probably asking, like this stat, which I know you've heard over and over again for the last month, is that it's your first studio album in 11 years. But the EP you put out before this, I understood like you wrote this on a farm and then you went back and wrote the rest of the album there. I want to know, what's this farm like? What is it about it that inspired you for this album?
Well, I just been spending a lot of time there. And I'm really a city kid, but I had just grown to love this place and just a lot of days in the woods. Sometimes with my friend and his family, sometimes with my girlfriend, but I spent a lot of time there just by myself with his dogs, just me and these two dogs, wandering over hill and dale. I don't know how it inspired it, but I had been kind of not writing for a while. I hadn't really felt like I wanted to. Um, and then I just kind of felt like I did, and I rented a keyboard uh, and just started writing for the first time in ages. I don't know how it inspired it, but it did, clearly.
Well, were the two dogs the first ones to hear the new music then? I'm
Yep.
very jealous.
Just me, this Bernese mountain dog, and this Rottweiler.
Oh my gosh, this sounds like an ideal situation. Another, stat I know that's thrown in your face is that you're a band for 34 years this year. And I know a member of the band, the late Robbie Robertson, actually gave you studio advice for your first album because you spoke about how nervous you were to go in this big studio. And he said, just go do it in a house. When I look at these photos of you guys in the studio or any behind the scenes moments, it seems like it was like a fun, creative time. What was it actually like in studio?
It was really easy. I mean, the EP, which is side two of this record, took maybe 12 or 13 days in the studio, and then the this half, side A, I think 11, maybe 11 days. It's considering that it's the longest record considering when we started it, but it's the by far the fastest record we've ever recorded as far as studio time. Like 23, like 3.5 weeks maybe at most to do the whole record. It was so fast.
When you talked a little bit about songwriting and you didn't feel like, you're in a space to do this, my understanding, because I do listen to your work and I watch and listen to interviews you do, is that this was the first time you ever went back to rewrite songs. What were some of the ones that you went back and kind of worked on a little bit?
Spaceman in Tulsa, Under the Aurora, and Boxcars. Um, yeah, they just Virginia Through the Rain I thought was perfect, but the other three they just kind of lacked something. They lacked a certain heart. Some of it was structural too. Spaceman just had too many parts. A lot of it had to do with that they're a little more ambitious musically than my ability to actually play piano. I'm not a very good piano player, and I couldn't really play them. I mean, I knew the chords, I knew what they sounded like in my head, but because I couldn't play them, it was hard to be sure about them, And so even after I did the rewriting, which they needed, I kind of lacked confidence in them for a while. I sort of sat on them for 2 years. They were done, and I just sat for 2 years without even sending them to the band. And then I wrote With Love from A to Z, which is the opening song on the record. And I knew that was great, and I knew I wanted to record it, and that meant I had to figure out what was going on with the other songs. So I just called a few of our band members, our drummer, our bass player, and one of our guitar players, and said, can you guys come to New York for a few days? Because I can't play these songs and I just need to play them and know if they're any good. And I'll know them as soon as I play them with you guys. So the three of them, we just did it in my living room, um, kind of demoed them. I don't usually demo either, but we did record while we were working on them. And they were so good that we just decided to go right in the studio like a week later.
Gosh, that must feel so good. That must feel so good when you have a passion and it's just connecting that well. But Spaceman in Tulsa, I actually don't know how often you've been able to play this live, but I'm just curious hearing if you have been able to take it for a number of rips around. Hearing like I can't wait to see you in concert here in Toronto because like I know there's this like energy during a certain line. Have you felt that or even seen that fans are going to be really passionate during a certain part in that song?
Well, we've only played it like with the whole band twice. We did a show in Vegas a couple nights ago, and we opened the show with it there. And we played it uh, like on the Tonight Show. Uh, and then I've been traveling around for the last 3 weeks doing promo here, and I just got back from England. Uh, and I played it about 50 times, and you have to remember each time whether you're allowed to say certain words or not. It was very much like I kept forgetting to ask before things. Like some things, there's terrestrial radio where you can't, there's television where you can't, but there's satellite radio where you can. But I didn't really know all the rules of it, so I was trying desperately to like remember to ask ahead of time, and I kept forgetting. So I was just, remembering at the last second to edit myself. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play. It's really great live. Like we've only really done it in a concert once a couple nights ago, opening the show. Or no, we did a festival. We did it twice because we did it. We opened with it at this festival the other day, and that was great too. Um, it's been really cool as an opening song. Like that's where I always used to love when a band would put out a new record and you go see them, and the first song is one of the songs from the new album because they have enough confidence in it to play it first. And we haven't had one of those since Hard Candy, which was a great opener from that record. But this has been great as an opening song.
When you're this busy, have you even had time to watch any of the NBA playoffs? I know your Warriors are not in it anymore, but have you even had time?
I watched until the Warriors got bounced, but also just like I had to go to Europe, so it was hard to watch over there anyways. Although our last championship, I was on the farm where I wrote all this stuff when we won that championship. So I was watching those games at like 2 in the morning, whatever time it was. So it would have been like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was getting up and on my computer watching the games. Uh, I've been friends with Steve Kerr for a long time, the coach of the Warriors, since he was a player, and so he texted me the other day, like before game 2 or 3, he's like, how many coaches do you think are preparing for their playoff games listening to your new album? And I was like, I don't know, but it's a good sign.
I'm also an
So like I was very sad to see Steph get hurt, and it's tough to lose your best player. I don't know how, and also like for me, the last like 10 or 15 years of this team have been such joy, especially because, with a friend as the coach, I've gotten to be there at a lot of stuff, and be at the after parties after we won championships with the team. And like, I don't know how many years we have left of this, but I'm really trying to like treasure it.
What's it like to party with NBA champion as a player and coach Steve Kerr?
He's really cool. He's just the greatest. He's the greatest guy. He literally is like the most just decent, best person. Like like talk about people who are literally good people, and he's just like the best person, you know. You hear it from all the guys on the team too. I think he looks out for his players in a way. He's just the best, you know.
Have you ever thought about having him on the album secretly? Maybe a duet, or is he?
No, he's not on this record. He is in the documentary though that HBO filmed on us. He's in that. They interviewed him for that, and he's great in it. He's really cool. I mean, he's one of my favorite people. He's just the nicest, the most decent human being,